Do you really know all of Freddy Krueger's most disturbing moments? In today's video, we'll delve into the most shocking, forgotten, and disturbing scenes from the Master of Nightmares. Prepare to relive moments so brutal that many fans have tried to erase them from their memory, from bizarre deaths, disgusting practical effects, to appearances that completely change the way we view the villain. If you think you've seen everything about Freddy, stay until the end because some of these moments are so dark you'd never imagine they actually existed. Freddy Krueger, more than a horror villain, Freddy isn't just a dream killer. He's the embodiment of fear, a being who not only kills but also toys with his victims, exploiting their weaknesses and transforming their nightmares into veritable torture experiences. Unlike other villains like Jason or Michael Myers who attack physically, Freddy invades the most intimate space, the mind. It's in this territory that the franchise's most disturbing moments emerge. Death in the Stomach, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3. One of the most disgusting and forgotten moments occurs in Dream Warriors. Freddy turns a boy's veins into puppets and makes him walk to his death. But what many overlook is the grotesque detail of the scene. The camera shows tendons and muscles being pulled like strings, in a practical effect so realistic that it still causes discomfort today. It's proof that Freddy doesn't just kill, he uses the human body as a toy. The killer television welcome to prime time, bitch. Perhaps one of the most iconic but also most bizarre scenes. Freddy appears on a television set with robotic arms and smashes a victim's head against the screen, uttering the now trademark phrase, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." What many forget is the context. The scene shows how Freddy adapted to modern fears, even using television to transform an ordinary dream into a grotesque nightmare. It was a frightening reflection of the era when TV dominated homes. The Soul Pizza, A Nightmare on Elm Street. For one of the most disturbing moments in the entire franchise, Freddy appears devouring a pizza, but instead of cheese and pepperoni, each slice contained miniature human heads, screaming in pain. The scene is absurd and grotesque, blending humor and horror in an uncomfortable way. It's precisely this contrast that makes the moment so disturbing. Freddy treats his victims' souls as mere food, a cruel metaphor for his true nature. The nightmare baby, the dream child, perhaps the most disturbing scene of all, Freddy being reborn as a deformed fetus, the image of a monstrous baby, crawling and transforming into the villain we know, is disturbing even for the most seasoned horror fans. This sequence explores the most primal fear of all, deformity and the corruption of innocence. It's no wonder many consider this one of the most disgusting and uncomfortable moments in the saga. The motorcycle transformation. Freddy's dead. The final nightmare. In one of the most bizarre deaths, Freddy merges with a motorcycle, trapping a victim in the vehicle's parts and transforming the human body into part of the machine. The practical effects showed cables and gears piercing flesh, creating a grotesque fusion. This scene is often forgotten but remains one of the character's most creative and disturbing. The video game Death, Power Glove. Freddy didn't stop at television or motorcycles. In another scene, he transports a victim into a video game and manipulates them as if they were a player, even using the sarcastic phrase, "Now I'm playing with power." What's disturbing here isn't just the violence, but how Freddy mocked youth, transforming even hobbies into instruments of torture. Freddy as a giant worm, Dream Warriors. Another bizarre and terrifying moment. Freddy appears as a giant worm devouring a victim. The practical effect, created with latex and animatronics, is grotesque and nauseating, showing the villain in a monstrous form that completely escapes humanity. This scene is often forgotten, but it still sends shivers down your spine with its eeriness and brutality. The cruel laughter behind the horror. What makes these moments so disturbing is not just the explicit violence, but Freddy Krueger's cruel humor. He's not a silent killer, he laughs, mocks, and turns every kill into a spectacle. This blend of macabre humor and extreme violence creates a unique discomfort. You laugh, but soon realize how grotesque the situation is. Why do we forget these moments? Many fans only remember the iconic lines or the classic image of Freddy with his bladed glove, but the most disturbing scenes end up buried in the collective memory, perhaps because they're too uncomfortable to revisit. By revisiting these moments, we realize that Freddy isn't just a fun villain, he, as a representation of the darker side of the human imagination. Freddy Krueger remains one of the most complex and disturbing villains in horror film history. Between deformed babies, giant worms, soul pizzas, and killer televisions, his strangest and scariest moments still haunt those who dare revisit them. And now I ask you, which of these moments was the most disturbing for you? Did you really remember them all? If you enjoyed this dive into Freddy Krueger's darkest side, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment about the scene that disturbed you the most, and share this video with your horror-loving friends, because here at the Haunted Hour, the nightmare never ends.